Well, the legacy of the left is already still shaping China. A lot of what Xi Jinping is actually doing has a very leftist bent. He's a great promoter of Maoie. He's a great promoter of sort of group action and mass action. And so a lot of the things that Bo actually did in Chongqing are actually sort of being almost used by the central leadership now. So in that sense, some of those ideas are still very firmly there. Although Bo's name, certainly in the immediate few years, and certainly through Xi Jinping's presidency, is going to be scrubbed from the record books. That's a good question. Xi Jinping, obviously, this was a great test, and well, it was a test, it was more political theatre within the Chinese Communist Party. But Xi Jinping really wanted to send a strong message here to clamp down on those who they had seen had overstepped the mark and you know, the past 18 months, what's been playing out down in Chongqing has sort of staggered many people. And I think not even so much the death of Neil Hayward, but it was the defection or the pseudo defection to the American consulate by its head of police, which I think really shook the leadership. And they started to see real problems appearing in that leadership, and that Bo had overstepped the mark. So she's trying to send a very strong signal here, but at the same time, he's not going to be executing people. That sets a very bad precedent. So what he does is he gives them life imprisonment, and he sends them away to a relatively nice, luxurious prison, and he gets the man out of the way for the moment, and then he hopefully can focus on what he wants to do. Well, we're already seeing some sort of fallout from it. One of his patrons was the head of security, Zhou Yongkang, and he's sort of been talked about as, people are going after him for corruption, as is sort of a number of his other sort of disciples, if you were, or followers in the sort of Petro-China empire. So there's starting to be fallout from this, but it's very difficult to tell from outside really what's going on here. It's ultimately, as I said, it's Chinese Communist Party theatre, and it's really which gang runs China. And Xi Jinping is clearing a section of the House at the moment, but nobody should be thinking this is really a major anti-corruption drive. There's plenty of corruption within the existing leadership, between Xi's family alone that's been exposed. But nobody's going to go seriously think he's going to go and clean his own house. Yeah, this is very difficult because the problem in China is that corruption is so widely spread from the grassroots level right to the very top. So therefore, many companies who have done things in China, again, they don't necessarily condone corruption, but they understand that there's a certain way of doing things in China, that they may let their local staff do certain things which they don't ask too many questions about, because that's just the way it's done in China. And the problem now is that ultimately nobody has clean hands. So it's very easy for the leadership to clamp down on sort of certain aspects of corruption. But it fundamentally won't really change anything because corruption is ultimately an accountability problem. And that you have a system in China where there's very little accountability, where the idea of corruption, of paying some money to get a better service or to jump the queue or to lubricate the wheels, as it were, that's firmly entrenched, so that's not changing. Foreign investors have to be nervous. They're not just going after foreigners, though, but there's certainly going to be more foreign companies in the spotlight. And they're going to be basically, it's going to be more forced confessions on TV. It's going to be more large fines for large companies. But that, I think, is ultimately was the danger of doing business in China, and we always knew about it.